Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media LLC, another week for which to be grateful. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. A successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always with the same person. Today, Just Minding My Business is pleased to welcome the co-authors of upcoming anthology, Money Talks, Uncut Convos with Power Couples about love, money, and entrepreneurship. The brainchild of this anthology, Antoine and Constance Craig Mason, recognize, as many do, that money issues are often the root cause of relationship and marital problems. If you are planning to marry, recently married, or married for decades, we cordially invite you to bring pen and paper to take advantage of news and views your money, marriage, or relationship can use. Today, we welcome Noble and Kim Evans. Noble and Kim met as 18-year-old college freshmen and have been married 15 years and are the parents to two daughters. After Noble pivoted from his dream of becoming a professional athlete and working in many industries, he found his passion and purpose in life and powered forward to build several successful businesses alongside his wife. Kim Evans is a corporate communications executive, international best-selling author, and multi-passionate entrepreneur. Kim is responsible for the multi-million dollar brands of several well-known nonprofits, corporations, and entrepreneurs. As a couple, they have declared war on the epidemic of divorce, and it is their mission to impact communities by strengthening the foundational unit of the family, the marital unit. Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Evans.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
all.
us.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am impressed with all the good stuff you guys are doing
Thank you.
and really loving that war.
Yes. It's hard out here in these streets.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, individually, get a little bit into your work, other things that you do.
Okay, so I can start. As you heard, corporate communications executive, that's my, what you quote unquote, 9 to 5. I have been doing that work the entirety of my career. Currently working for a community development financial institution, supporting the corporate communications arm and function, as well as managing director of the Southeast region. Um, you heard about the several businesses. We have been entrepreneurs, I think, since we said I do. And I look back at our love video that premiered right as we were getting married. And one of the things that we said in that video is that, they asked us, where did you see yourself in 10 years? And my husband shared at that time, growing in our businesses. And, by God's grace, that's absolutely what we are doing. So we have started several successful companies. The latest being a trucking company, which my husband primarily runs. That we have done publishing work. We have been contractors for Federal Express. So, you name it, I think we've tried it on the entrepreneurial venture. So, and we look to continue to do that.
Right.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Evans.
Yes, ma'am. Like my wife said, and in the introduction, we have started multiple business. We are in business together as husband and wife. So that's the main business that we are trying to keep going and spreading out to others. But it's not much to us. It's just we thrive together and we are living to push God's word out there to help others, and help ourselves in what we do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, that war. Let's talk about that war on divorce. Because I'm so with you on that. When I took those vows, I didn't see it out. Did you?
So I did. So, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was the person I was divorced every other day. I was leaving every other day. I'm sick of you. He was really the one that was
I'm not that type of person.
There we are not. He said, if you give me some papers, I'm not signing it. So you stuck with me until death do you part. So, we had to grow, and I'll speak for myself, definitely had to grow to that space of truly understanding that that shouldn't be an option. That's, while yes, God gives you clear criteria, that if these things happen, but it should not ever be your first option. And, when we think about culturally what's happening today, there's just not a value for the institute of marriage, and divorce is thrown around, just like a second term. And people are just so quick to just say, you know what, this is not working for me. I don't have the feels anymore.
It's the easy way out.
Yeah. So it's out instead of really, buckling down and being willing to put the work in.
Yeah. And like I said, it's the easy way out. Once you learn, what God have planned for you and what marriage really means to Him, then you learn what it means to you and your spouse. And, just saying, I'm done. And you all of a sudden, here's the paperwork for my divorce. It's an easy way out of something that could be easily be fixed. So, and like she said earlier, I'm not the one. I'm only getting married once, and that's it. So we're gonna work through this, through thick and thin. What I'm saying, that's it. I'm only getting married once, and so by me saying that ought to explain to you that we're gonna work things out.
Yeah, and when you think about that war, you're talking about war. When you think about war in its general sense, there is strategy there. So you don't just pack a gun and go out there and say, okay, I'm gonna shoot them up, bang bang. There's a lot of preparation. There's a lot of learning. You're in boot camp for years, or you're doing simulations. You're trying to act as though you're on that battlefield. And when you think about your marriage, it's like, do you really have that same type of preparation, or do we take the time to really strategize around how to be successful and how to win, the small battles first, but then ultimately win the war. And so, as we were thinking about, the call has been on our life. We were literally running from it for a number of years, but the call has been on our life. But once we accepted the call of God, we were like, okay, God, how do you want us to share this message with the world? And He dropped it in our spirit. He's like, this is we're about to declare war, and I need some good soldiers. I need some good platoon leaders as well. And with that, we started looking and searching, and we came upon Dr. Constance and her husband, Anthony. And, notice that, we're not the only ones out here, but there's no reason why there can't be multiple couples, because you look at the multitude of couples that are out there, everybody can't reach everyone. There's going to be something that resonates with one couple that may not resonate with another, so instead of, feeling afraid to really reach out to others that were doing very similar work, again, God just, shared a message. A war is not fought by one soldier. So I need as many soldiers as I can get in this battle, so embrace them all, as many that we find that are doing this work, we're embracing them and helping share their message as they help share ours.
Absolutely. Because marriage is tough. I've been married for over 25 years now. I'm kind of losing track now. And like you, Kim, in my mind, I left 100 times. Because it's tough. And sometimes, when you see things happening that doesn't support the relationship and you kind of put it out there, sometimes the other person doesn't accept it right away. It's like you got to be patient. Marriage really requires a lot of patience because everybody is not growing at the same pace. And it can become frustrating at times, So I know what you mean. In my mind, every week, I'm out of here. I can't do this. Just little things like getting my husband to wash his dishes after he ate. It took almost 5 years to get that done.
Well, it takes the small things to do, to work out of marriages. So, if you think about planning for a government war, your marriage is a war by itself. So it needs strategies, need planning to go. You need all the tools to go to war for each other. So, that's what we were planning on doing with other couples
Yeah.
who's like-minded and like-hearted to, bring what they learn to sustain their marriages and just like us, So, my gun just might be a big gun, but it might not do damage to maybe 5.
Right.
The next couple or his gun might do a damage to 25. So we all need the tools to work together.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we got a shout out from Margot. Hey, Margot.
Yes. Hey, Margot, how are you? In business together. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Securing the bag together.
Absolutely. Because, you can't do anything alone anyway.
Mm-hmm.
No true. Business is going to flourish with just you.
Right.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things, you together, married. It just makes sense for both of you to just put your heads together and build something.
Absolutely. And who else is going to have your best interest at heart? When you think about the ultimate, outside of God, the ultimate business partner really is your spouse, because you have a shared goal, so you never have to fear what can sometimes happen in those traditional business partnerships where, one person has one mind, one agenda, and it doesn't necessarily align with yours, with your spouse. You're in the same household. So if this thing flourishes, then it benefits both of you. If it goes down, we're going down together, So, like I said, outside of God, who better to be in partnership with and help push that thing forward together, and for the benefit of not only your household, but then you can, join in purpose and grow individually and collectively, and then collaboratively support the community that you're in as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if people want to get involved, because we know some marriages out there that's struggling, or some people getting ready to get married that's going to struggle. How do people get at you?
So currently they can follow all of our social media platforms at War on Divorce. That is where they're going to get all of the information as it unfolds, on trainings, those strategy sessions. We'll also be working with some of the couples that you have on here today, as well as Dr. Constance and Anthony, on an additional collaborative partnership with another conference that'll come later in this year, and another book anthology. So, again, we're all just collectively joining in and supporting one another's ministries and businesses. So follow us at War on Divorce. That's where you're going to get all of the updated and upcoming information on how to join in. If you want to just, you want to be a soldier, or if you need the strategy, if you need counsel, we're there to support you, and we're going to have some other great soldiers that's going to join us in this battle.
Yes, that's so awesome. I'm applauding everything that you're doing, because the institution of marriage is broken, and it really does need to be fixed. And people like you that are standing up, and all of the couples that I've met thus far, has been amazing about, the relationships and, keeping it together, because we know it's rough. We in it.
Right. It absolutely is.
It changes every day.
Every day.
So it makes it, even harder, but it also makes you stronger because it changes every day. So if you're in it for the long haul, that even makes the relationship and yourself stronger.
Absolutely. Okay, money talk.
Yes.
What can people expect to see in your chapter, and what's the name of your chapter?
So our chapter in Money Talks really focuses on growing in purpose, being purpose partners, and really just understanding, why God put you together, because it's amazing that, again, it's easy to leave when you're just thinking about self, and your own self-fulfillment. There's a whole other lane where you got to think about your spouse, but how much more would we fight for things when we realize that the salvation and the salvation of other marriages was tied to that, and really the work of God's kingdom. So, understanding that it's not even about you. Like it's really not even about you. And that's tough to come to, but for us being married 15 years, having met at 18 years, so that's 27 years of, dealing with each other's junk. But just accepting, that it's still not about us. Even all the turmoil that we've had to go through and live through and grow through in our relationship, we have really come to accept that it's about having that testimony. And without the test, there's no testimony. So we have to go through it in order to get to this space that God saw when He purposed us to be together. That it was to do His work. It had nothing to do with that little minor battle that we were going through. It was ultimately He had to get us war tested and ready to go in and fight His battle for Him. So,
and not just only back then that we was going through, we still go through things that married couples and individually go through for our marriages. So we're still fighting for ourselves and for our marriages that put us ahead of all the other marriages that just giving up. So we're trying to be examples, and God has given us the word and the other couples to learn from, to be examples to others. As we still learn, because we are still young, so we're still learning, but we have learned more about each other and what we need to do for others by our testimonies.
Yes, and then one of the things that I see, being in a marriage, people change. We change, and we're constantly evolving and changing. And as a couple, you have to adapt to those changes. If it's not a good change, then we got to work through it. Because all change ain't good.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's that quote that you all shared earlier, falling in love multiple times, but always with the same person. So it's the same physical person, but understanding that person is going through life's evolution. So they're changing, but, going into it, understanding that that's going to happen, and accepting that, and fall in love with them again. So fall in love with the new them, and then the new them, and then the new them, because you're changing as well. And so they have that, responsibility to you to continue to get to know, so instead of thinking of it as a challenge, think of it as an opportunity. Like you have that constant evolution. It's like, oh my gosh, like I'm feeling him. Like I like this you, so like I'm trying to date you, like,
Yes, that is so lovely. And it's a great way to look at it. It's a very great way to look at it. And it just strengthens the relationship all the way around. Wow. So the summit coming up. Time to turn off the phone. The summit coming up. Tell us what that's going to look like for you guys. I kind of already know what you're going to be putting out there, but for our audience, the Evans are going to be a part of the conference that's coming up this Monday. Not is it this Monday coming? It seems like time is right around.
It is Monday, February 21st.
Yes, so let's keep it real conference 2022, hosted by Constance and her husband. So tell us what you're going to be talking about there.
So we'll be talking about it's talking about money, love, and entrepreneurship as couples. Very similar to what we've been sharing with you all today. How the three intertwine. There'll be just open dialogue around what does that look like when you are in business with your spouse. And it doesn't mean that every couple there are both entrepreneurs, but it could be, what does it look like if you have a spouse that's an entrepreneur, and you're being the supportive spouse, because that's a very different outlook. So we'll be sharing that information. Constance will be giving quite a bit of financial acumen information to the viewers, and also just general dialogue around love and how you grow together, how you can support your community together, how you discover your purpose as a couple, and live that purpose out, as a couple. So, it's gonna be a whole lot of love. This is the month of love, and it's also Black History. So we've got a group of couples that are making Black History, not just celebrating Black History, but also celebrating Black love.
Absolutely. Well, Noble and Kim, we are so happy that you graced our stage today, and we're definitely looking for more from you. And I love that war on divorce. That is like, when I read that in your bio, I was like, oh, yes.
We declare war. We bringing out all the stops. So, understanding that, the enemy is not happy with us right now. He is not happy. So he's going to throw all the darts, but we got the best on our side. So we're not worried about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And we are looking forward to more. And oh my God, y'all heard it here first.
You heard it here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Otta.
Okay, you're so welcome. Wow, that was beautiful.
Indeed.
Okay, Ruth, who do we have next?
Next, we have Fatar and Michelle Thomas, who have been friends for over 21 years and married for over 14. They have an amazingly blended family of 6 boys and 1 girl. Through Fatar's career, they have had the opportunity to live in a number of locations that have helped them to share many unique, diverse experiences. They currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia, where they own Success Industries Incorporated, a parent company with multiple ventures within the hospitality, health, and beauty publishing events, coaching, international speaking, and business training platforms. Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yes. So how long have you two been married?
So we are going on 15 years now. That's that we have to carry them on. Because I feel like that we have been together like our entire life, and we've gone through a lot, and it's been a lot of years. So the actual marriage part, we will be married coming up on 15 years.
July, 15 years.
All right. All righty now. So tell us a little bit about your businesses, because I heard a lot going on.
I think it stems from the 6 kids. That's what it is. We when the kids started leaving, we just started adding businesses to our life. But we have a parent company, and the best thing about that parent company that makes it magical for me at least is he and I, when we met a little over 21 years ago, we began talking. The one thing that as friends that we had in common that we really knew resonated with us was the fact that we recognized that we took all of the skills that we had, everything that we knew, and we were giving it to other businesses to make them wealthy. And so that didn't make sense to us. And so that's what we always talked about. And as we developed into a relationship, we became instantly a family of 5. Which, from a dating standpoint, that you go from 0 to 1,000 instantly. There was little time for Tara and Michelle, but the one thing that we held on to, even through good times, bad times, financial problems, was the fact that we wanted to have some sort of business to deliver to our kids. And so when baby number 6 came, we named the company, and that was 17 years ago. That we come up with the name Success. And so there were times that we didn't see that it was going to happen, but we're proud to sit here now and be the proud owners of Success Industries Incorporated.
All right. Well, that's awesome, awesome, awesome. So tell us, what do you do in Success, your company?
So as a parent company, we have a lot of subsidiaries that's up under Success.
Okay.
And so we have a hospitality side. We have just my entities, which is Michelle S. Thomas is the author and the coach and the speaker. And then we have a publishing company, and we have a design company, and we have
You should give them the names.
oh you're muffled, honey. I don't know what's going on with your mic. Your mic.
Yeah,
Something's really going on. Yeah.
Hit mute and then unmute.
Is that better?
Still muffled. Um, so we have. He's right. Let me. Why would y'all hear that now? When your husband say something, now pay attention. So we have Success Industries is our parent company, and then the hospitality industry entity is called PS Success, and that holds our franchises. And then we have Michelle S. Thomas, which is my company, the speaking and the publishing and the author and the coaching. And then we have the Mindful Village Publishing Company that we created with my first experience with trying to publish my book, where somebody was trying to change my voice and change what I was trying to deliver in my product. And so my daughter-in-law and I created the Mindful Village Publishing Company so that other new authors would have the opportunity to speak their way. And
Yes.
then we have 888 Innovative Designs, which holds a lot of patents for products that we sell to and create for other companies and develop for other companies. We're actually going to pull the 17-year-old into that with some of the products that he likes to make on his 3D printer and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then we have a catering company that's kind of on pause, but it is going to be a Mike and Michelle, not me, Michelle, but my grandbaby, Michelle, is going to be a catering company that we are going to go and do special events for. And then we also have, what am I missing, honey? Hold on. And then we have the Exceptional Woman Enterprise that now is our latest baby, and that one holds our events and our summits, and it holds just our projects that we're working on right now to help out women around the globe. So as a woman, I'm so proud that my husband allows me to have that portion of the entity, recognizing that some of us as women aren't getting the equal opportunity that we need.
Okay, but I tell you what, we busted loose stuff. I see so many women flourishing. You know, just through the pandemic alone, so many women have blossomed. Uh, so that definitely is changing. So we got a shout out from Fred. Hey, Fred, how you doing? Long time no see. Yes. So your contribution to the book. Tell us what that's gonna what they people can expect from that. What's the name of your chapter?
The corporate merger. The corporate merger. And actually, most people will assume that because I'm the author that I wrote most of it, but 95% of it, y'all, came from Mr. Thomas himself. And so it was where we just kind of both were going to write our bullet points of things. But when I read what he wrote, it encapsulated what we went through from a financial standpoint so eloquently that basically 95% of that, I just did the tie-in. But the way that he broke down what we did and the trials and the tribulations that we kind of went through and the just how we got to the point that we are able to not only manage a household, because I think people miss the fact that when you're a blended family, that's a merger in itself.
Yes.
He ran his whole household, I ran my whole household, and then trying to pull them two households together with different backgrounds, different experiences.
We ran them independently. We were both very independent, do things the way we want to do because we're single and we're going to raise our kids the way we raise them. We're going to organize the house the way we organize it. And yeah, there was some benefits too. We ended up with a bunch of extra TVs. But extra toaster, you know.
But yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot because we're both leaders, and when you take two leaders and try to put them up under the same household, there was some interesting negotiation period. But here's the thing: what was so poignant about his chapter was we didn't shy away from that, and I think that what happens with a lot of couples, um, especially when you see a couple in a book or you see them on a show or whatever, we talk about the great times, and it misleads other couples who are in the midst of their struggle right now, feeling like there's something wrong with them. And so we talk about the fact that we struggled. We struggled for a lot of years. But there was one true platform that never left. And it was the mutual respect that we had for each other. So even when the love wasn't as warm and fuzzy, or there was in the midst of the argument, it was the fact that I trusted my world to him, and he trusted his world to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, we
sometimes
always talked about of us talking at night about owning our own business and stop making other people rich. Let's make ourselves rich. That never changed. We never wavered from that, even when we were the brokest.
what I call poor, extra extra on that, not just poor, but poor. That's but yeah, we even when one of us was falling off track, the other would remind what our goals were.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, as adult, we're no different than our children. We're just older. We have to constantly remind them. And sometimes we as adults have to be reminded. And having somebody that in your life that has your back, and I always say, when I met my husband, one of my things was, if the man that I marry, if he has $1, I have 50 cents of it.
Right, right. So true. And for me, he met me, and I was a single mom with three boys, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. I had no idea how I was going to, and I told my friends that I never said that I was raising three boys. I said I was responsible for three black men, and I had to figure out how to navigate that. And so my friend, who was my friend first, my friend came into their lives and became the father that they needed. And those boys are the businessmen and the great fathers that they are today because I attribute that to him.
Yes.
I give that honor to him. So it was a shift in our life. And so he sacrificed a lot he was what, 25 at the time, and you got six kids, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But he not only did he do it, but he sacrificed a lot so that we could
We
um
didn't. We sacrificed a lot.
Right.
we look. So I know that's right, baby. We did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Y'all heard that first, America. Okay, we both did. We did. We did some sacrifice, but we did what we needed to do so that, and so we don't. For us, the position that we're in now, where some people would put their feet up now and say our kids are grown, so we can just kind of kick back. Patara and I still have that goal of that generational pass down. And so we
Mm-hmm.
still got work to do. We still have grandkids and great grandkids and great great grandkids that not only need to understand their Gigi and Pop Pop story, but they need to know that in order for you to make and do what you need to do in life, sometimes you're going to have to make that sacrifice, but that doesn't mean that you sacrifice the respect and the love.
That's right. That's right. Well, we got some shout outs here. Okay.
That's that couple right there. That's our friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we got another one. Stop making other people rich for sure. And then we got Constance in the house. How you doing?
Hey, Constance.
Good to see you.
But I think the one big thing that if there's a takeaway that I would love for people to know about this is stop jockeying for position.
Mm.
Hmm.
Stop sitting around here thinking that your marriage is a competition. Because throughout our 20 something years, there was times that I shined, there was times that he shined. There was times that the majority of the time the kids shined. But we didn't allow that envy and that jealousy
Mhm.
and that resentment to creep in so that it was I mean, listen, when he went back to go get his degree and I was at home with 6 kids, 2 dogs, a cat, and a partridge in a pear tree if you look hard enough. Um, but he worked full time and went to school full time. And so for me, I understood that that burden, but I also recognized that the pain that my husband was going through because he was missing his family. So
Mhm.
he sacrificed his time with us and his children so that he can make a better life for us. And so that stuff is something that I don't ever want the kids to miss is there's some sacrifices that were done on both of our part that we did for them.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, money talk. Tell us about your chapter in that.
Mr. Thomas,
Um, I mean, you guys have really during the conversation you touched a little bit. So one thing, Miss Crawford, you said was if my husband has $1, 50 cents of that is mine. And really, I'd like to break that dollar down even further. 25 cents is the house, 25 cents is the cars and feeding us and all of that stuff. And when you really get down to the end of it, really 10 cents is yours and 10 cents is his. But what we can't forget is that my 10 cents, when we met, we were both individuals. So Michelle and I talked a little bit about how, we were both leaders and we have strong personalities and what have you. There is a need, especially when it comes to money, to have some independence. And so in our chapter, we recommend a way to break down the family finances so you can still have that piece that is mine, and wifey can have that piece that is hers. And so that feeling of autonomy and independence that you need as a human being because you're grown and you are intelligent and you know how to run your life. And I want to go and buy me a gift for my wife and not to talk about the family budget when I go do it. And she wants to go and, get her hair and nails done or whatever it may be, where it's not a conversation about the family budget to go and get that done. I think that was a huge piece. Like she said, we're partners and we shouldn't be jockeying for a position. And if you have some autonomy and a little bit of independence mixed in there, it relieves that stress of feeling like I'm getting permission to do what I want to do as an adult. But all the other pieces are included: the house, the cars, the feeding of the family, the utilities, all of that stuff. But you have to have a way to map those things out together and make sure that they're taken care of. And then with my independent part, I may just let it grow in the bank and do something big with it one day. But that's because I'm a planner and I'm independent and I can do that. And my wife is fine with it 'cause she's doing what she does with her part. That's just a really big piece that I thought just listening to you guys talk was a good call out about our chapter.
Awesome. Awesome. And
Mhm.
I like
I
that.
like that too.
I like
Very
that.
good.
Because every household should have some kind of financial structure.
Right.
In order to make things work, you need that. I look at the White House and every year they scrambling to meet the budget. And I'm thinking to myself, if I ran my house like that, we'd be sitting outside.
Come on now. Come
Exactly.
on now. I
Exactly.
tell
We would be
anybody, if
kicked
you
out.
want to balance a deficit and a budget, you put a woman up there who done had to juggle some money and get the groceries and keep the lights on. That's what you need. Forget all these
Exactly.
Congress members. What you need is Miss Betty. Miss Betty, that is
Somebody that had to
the
make
church treasurer.
ends meet.
Come on now, the church treasurer. She wear a muumuu. She got the hat on. But Miss Betty know where every penny of that building fund came from, and she know exactly. She tell the pastor, "You can't have that. That's not going over there." She balances that stuff. They got the wrong people in charge. That's
Yes,
what
they
you
did. Yes, they did.
Um, Another thing that we do talk about in the book is just having the conversation, determining that. So, Michelle talked about when I was working full time and going to school full time, and when Jalen, our youngest, was first born, she wasn't working. And that's when it became clear to me, you know, I, I was thinking like you, Miss Crawford. We have a bank account. My salary's going in there, but half of it is yours. You need something, go get it. She hadn't
Mhm.
relied on anyone else, and since she could remember, since she was a child, and so to not have any income and live the way she was. I mean, our bills were being paid. We had food. The kids were fine. It wasn't some lavish lifestyle, but we were okay. So I never thought, wait a minute, coming to me asking for money may feel demeaning, may feel belittling, it may feel helpless, or whatever negative feeling she could get because she was self. When I met her, she was a single mom of three boys, right? Three black men, excuse me. And so, that's just one of the things. And until we were able to actually have a discussion about the topic of money in a productive fashion, we would have never came to the point of, yeah, maybe she does need a separate account that I don't even look at, and that she does whatever she needs to do with it. And then she still has that empowered feeling and doesn't feel dependent, which none of us want.
And
Right.
another thing that I thought he was going to touch on that was very powerful for me in the chapter was where he talked about the importance, especially in the African American community, to make talking about money something common so
Yes.
that the kids hear it all the time. So that y'all talk not just when you sit down when y'all trying to balance the bills, but he has magazines and we watch these shows and the kids grew up listening to talking about money. And so it wasn't like that whole how when a wife says something like, "Honey, can we talk?" And then he's instantly like, "Oh Lord, okay, what did I do? Who did she see? Was she in the phone? What's gonna happen? Jesus help me, Father God." So we avoided that breakdown
Start
because
telling on
we
myself.
would just have silly conversations about money. We would have conversations with the kids about money. We taught them that talking about money in our household is a taboo. And that's how not how neither one of us grew up. We didn't hear about
Right.
that. My father worked for the railroad. He retired from the railroad. He had two daughters. And sad to say, when me and my sister got out on our own, we couldn't figure out why them light bills and stuff wasn't being paid. I didn't understand. I was confused.
My mother taught me to go to school, get good grades, get a job, work hard,
Yeah.
and that's the way to success. And honestly, it really isn't.
No,
That's
it's
the way
not.
to live check to check and be in the rat race.
Yes.
The way to true success and living the life that you dream of is owning your own. And so years later, I appreciate what my mother taught me, but we were talking. I said, no, I've been teaching my kids that they need to be invested in the stock market and they need to own their own business. They use a job to learn how to run a business. Work your way up,
Exactly.
quit, and go get your own. Through I would have never thought in that manner had it not been for the publications and things that I started reading and looking into. And so those conversations just became common around the house. And I'm really proud to say our second oldest, Derek, um, I mean, he should go back and get his license for the stock market the way he's been doing in the market. I work a lot. I don't have a lot of time to look at it, and I look at his portfolio and I look at mine. Like, son, you want to do something here?
Want to help Dad out?
Yeah, but if I would have taught him like my mom taught me, they would be focused on the job and the promotion.
Yes.
And every time you get a raise, guess what? Your bills catch up. It's
Yes.
just the
Yes.
way America works. It's the capitalist society, and you need to be in that place so the people who are wealthy can stay where they are. But once
Yeah.
you start owning, that's when you start to shift things.
Absolutely. Well, we got some shout outs. Got like something you said that the Wades liked. And yes, the fact. I like that church mother thing because you ain't never lied. The church mother knew where every penny went.
And you better not touch it either. I don't care if you are the pastor. You better not come up here and touch it, okay?
Yes, indeed. Ownership. That
Yeah.
is the only way to go.
Mhm.
You know, and I've been teaching my son, he's an artist. And when we started talking, when he got old enough where he was getting ready to graduate from college, I told him, first of all, you're going to be doing something for the rest of your life to earn a living. So you need to do something that you love so that way you don't feel like you're working. And
Absolutely.
he really likes the entrepreneurship world. You know, of course, we need a job. I always call a job my sponsors
Right.
Right.
because I need some money to keep things floating while I'm building.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
so I kind of refocus that job thing as sponsors. They're my sponsors.
I love that. I love
And,
it.
and that's what we had to decide. I mean, once again, my husband is sacrificing. He allowed me to come out of that workforce so that I can grow the businesses that we're doing while he's still there. Which, and listen, rules of advice, couples, like just don't. Everybody don't wake up and quit. Be smart about it, because that's not how
Yes,
that works. And if y'all see my background, y'all see that at 8 o'clock, I'm still at work. So entrepreneurship does not mean that you got vacations and time off and weekends and you laying around the house. That means that you work harder because you have a goal. I
yeah,
have an end goal. My end goal is to have my husband sitting in his office that's already established, and we are growing and replacing us with other people that run this so that we can finally, Jesus, in the name of the Lord, take some time off. I'm just saying.
Can Miss Ida, can you repeat that? What is the job now again for you?
oh, sponsors. They're my sponsors.
The sponsor,
Under
man.
that.
That's
Under that.
where
Don't you?
we got to shift. I love that because
Right.
for so many of us, our job is the way to get a nicer car, to get a nice
Lifetime.
bag, to get the bigger house. That's what gets you into that rat race, right? That's what
Yes,
gets
Mhm.
you into it gets you into more debt. I got a better job. I can, my credit just went up. I can get a nicer car. And then guess what? You're living check to check. But if
yes,
your job is your sponsor and you are sponsoring that business, then that business is going to get you a lot more than what that job is going
absolutely.
to get you.
Of course, it wasn't always like that because just like Michelle said, I grew up. My mother taught me. My dad was like, get get a job, get a job, get a job. That's what I heard. But my whole thing is, after you're out there in that world, it is a rat race. Was job just over broke? And it's a fact. Whoever coined that had it right on. You know,
Right.
because you're never going to get ahead. Never, ever, ever. And then if you get a raise, which you're in another tax bracket, the health insurance goes up. You know,
Mhm.
so all of that's been eaten up.
Right.
Then, and does anybody ever wonder why does it work like that? Why every time we get more money, everything else costs more? Because
True enough.
it's meant to be that way.
Oh yeah. Well, it has been such a pleasure to speak with you guys, and we are looking for the conference. We, I kind of got an idea what you guys are going to be talking about, but for the benefit of our audience, what can they expect?
I think we're going to touch more on that balance of having a relationship and running a business. Because far too often, I think that a lot of couples think that because we are a couple, then when we get into the business, we carry all of that into our business. And so my husband taught me something. I'll be transparent. At first, when he did it, I did it wrong. He lives by his outlook. And so when we first established the business and we talked about that we needed to meet weekly, he put it in the outlook. And y'all, I'm gonna confess, the first Saturday I was late. I didn't take it serious. And by the time I got to the office, he checked me on that. He said it started at 11. I got things that I got to do. So you have to be here for the meeting. Now, as a wife, I was like, but as a business owner, I respected that because I wouldn't have done that for anybody else. Would I have not shown up for my meeting for anyone else? And just because he was my spouse did not mean that he deserved my disrespect like that. And
Yeah.
so when we talk about business, we talk about that business in our offices. He's in our office at home, I'm in our corporate office. And so we find that space that we carve out to talk about business. And then our bedroom, our living room, our couch, our dining room, that's our personal space.
All right,
I
now
like
I
that.
heard that.
Very good. Very fine.
Very fine. Okay, we got another shout out from the Evans. Job, solid
There we go.
investment. I like that.
All right, Miss Kim Noble.
Yes,
See,
got another way to look at it. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, thank you so much for gracing our stage. Great conversation. We can't wait to see you on Monday at the conference because I know you're gonna be dropping them nuggets. And we are definitely happy that Constance brought all of you into our lives because it has been such an honor to meet each and every one of the couples and learn more how you flowing, getting confirmation on what I'm doing.
Right.
Yes, so
Right.
thank you so much.
thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
having us. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Absolutely. All righty now. That was powerful.
Yes.
Powerful, powerful. So last but not least,
Well, before we get to our last but not least, you have the vision, you have the service that can inspire, educate, and empower others. You have the determination to level up your business. Bring your products and services to the combined viewership of Roku and Fire TV as a TV host or series producer on Mindset Movers TV. This could be your next big move. Just Minding My Business Media LLC can get you there. Let's move in the right direction together. Contact us at jmmbradio@gmail.com. So many people spend more time in planning the wedding than they do in planning the marriage. Zig Ziglar. Courtney and Kent have been married 7+ years. They have 4 beautiful children. Courtney has a background in social services, behavior analysis, and entrepreneurship. Kent is a professional public speaker, MC, and motivator. Together, they create a dynamic team to get it done when it counts. Follow Courtney and Kent right here, right now. Welcome, Kent and Courtney Wade.
yes.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Mic check, mic check. We are good.
Yes.
Yeah, you sound
Thank you guys
good.
for
You
having
sound
us on.
great.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's get a little bit into what you guys do.
So me and my wife, we are parents. That's the it. That's what we do. Day in, day out, I am a professional public speaker. I'm also a facilitator and MC, using my voice and my ability to help people connect the dots in events using customer service, a little bit of comedy, and just whatever the client may ask for. And so I've been doing that for 10 plus years. And prior to that, I used to work in the library world for 15 years. I love books, love reading. Long story about me on that end, but customer service and literacy has been my profession for a long time.
Yes, I love customer service. I will spend more money if the customer service is right.
Yeah.
Oh, I need
Yes.
I need that testimonial snippet. We'll talk about that later, Miss Ida. I need that testimonial snippet.
All righty. So, Miss Courtney.
Yes.
What you been doing?
I do a couple of things. Serial entrepreneur. One of the big things that I do for our county is I have a Black-owned. I'm Black-owned, but I have a business directory for Black-owned businesses. And we have been actively marketing and sharing awareness and education in our county for 2 years now. And that's exciting. And our big thing is bringing awareness and visibility to the Black businesses in our county, where we didn't see that previously. So we're excited about where that's going this year. We're publishing our 3rd edition at the end of the month, which is a week and a half. So we're really excited about that. One of the other things that has become and continues to become increasingly important to me is my coaching that I do. I am a resilience and renewal coach. So I work with moms who may have been parenting for quite a bit, in motherhood for quite a bit, and are looking to delve into their own personal activities and personal businesses, things like that. So that's been really something that's been a passion of mine that has been evolving this year as well. So I'm excited about that. Besides that, I also own a jewelry retail business called Ebony Pearls Boutique, and I make custom handmade jewelry using various materials, and that is online as well. So great things that are in the works and that we're doing together and individually. So we're excited about this year.
Absolutely. So what county is your directory in?
It's for Kankakee County now. We've been receiving referrals and ideals, and people have been reaching out about us actually going further north into the south suburbs of Chicago. So we're looking into that right now. There's some businesses in need of being visible that are looking. So yeah, right now in Kankakee County though.
Which is hour south of Chicago, like you said,
Yes.
on 57. So Illinois, baby.
Yes. Born there.
Yes, that is awesome. I like that. And we might want to collaborate a little bit on that and see how we can support you in getting that even further.
I love to. That'd be awesome.
I definitely love that idea of, putting spotlight on what we do.
Yes.
Because there's some amazing Black-owned businesses.
Yes.
I
Amazing.
agree. Yes. And then also the resources that sometimes you don't know that they're available. So that's the other thing that we do. We connect these businesses to resources that may not be within the Black community, but that is necessary for the Black community. So,
or they may have assets allocated for minority. I don't like the term myself, but minority business owners.
Right.
And some are owned by women, some are owned by Black, and so they have money allocated, but they're not using that money because they're not connected to the communities that can benefit from it. So
Okay.
So we're like a bridge.
Yes, that's
Very
good.
fine idea. I like that.
Very, because when I grew up, it's like in the community, you didn't really see a lot of Black-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
During my era, it was a lot of Jewish corner store. My aunt was one of the few Black women that had a corner store in Baltimore. So it was like, during that time, it was the Jewish community. And then we saw that fade out, and then the Koreans came in.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we saw that fade out, and then what we got? I'm
Right.
lost track.
Yeah. It's a revolving door of other people coming into our communities, profiting off of our culture.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're spending that money, and that money leaves our area and our community. And so, man.
Yeah. And then one of the things that I saw firsthand, these stores are owned by other nationalities in our communities. But when we come around selling candy for the school, for our kids, they will not buy.
Absolutely.
They will
I
not
agree.
buy.
Yep. And I don't think people take that into account. I think because it doesn't happen frequently. I don't think people even realize that. You know what I mean?
I was so disturbed when I saw that.
Yeah.
Right.
We actually had a young lady in our community that we worked with for a while, who had a law that has been implemented in Illinois, called the lemonade law, because she made a lemonade stand and she was getting a lot of flack for it. And so her mom, got with the right people and the right energy and the right movement. We worked with her daughter to help package her story, not for the law itself, but to help her bring that entrepreneurial energy out of her. And she went and got a law that was passed that children can put up lemonade stands
without a permit.
Without a permit. They don't need a permit to sell their lemonade. And so we're talking about, like you said, everyone has came into our community and made profits, while we have to fight and argue to have those candy stores that we used to have in the neighborhoods. We have to have permits now. And so you speak on something that's very true.
Yeah. So we want to get in those places where we're not usually, and make sure we gain those resources that we need, so we have an even foundation like everybody else when we start our businesses.
Yes. I love it. I love what you guys are doing. That is awesome. So tell us about your jewelry business. A little bit about that.
My jewelry, I have on studs right now because my hair is up, but my jewelry business is Ebony Pearls Boutique, and the inspiration came behind just Black excellence and Black beauty. You know what I mean? Wanting to use that as inspiration in my jewelry. So I use a lot of metals. Copper is so similar to gold, and that's what I'm being drawn to now, but various materials that I use. I am a fan of jewelry that speaks to the individual person. So I do a lot of custom work, where people will see something and say, hey, I want you to tweak this. I like this color instead of this. I like this shape instead of this. I've even had people send me a picture of jewelry. Like, can you make this? Yep. And I love the challenge. I think I have more power tools than Kent now, because I use wood. I do. So I'm in the basement, like with the power saw, and making jewelry. I love it. I love the challenge. I love being able to help somebody bring their personality out in jewelry, because you know what I mean? When you go to a store, it's somebody else's ideal on the wall, and you're like, oh, okay, if I like that, I'll buy it. But with Ebony Pearls Boutique, you can design your own custom pieces. I also have pieces that I make for on my website, but you can design your own custom piece based on your desire, based on your color, your preferences, and it's all originally you. And that was something I was doing initially, and now it's evolved into something I do for other people.
Yes.
Very nice. I like that. Yeah,
yes,
it's so hard to find things that you really like. You're right.
Yes,
absolutely. Okay, I will definitely be looking out for it.
Yes, and art is so whatever art it is, it's so therapeutic,
Yes.
Whatever it is. Okay.
And I absolutely love
I think this went back to the conversation we were talking about in the community, us being supporting our own communities. And that's really what I'm looking to see as we power up, our own communities, supporting our own communities, providing jobs for our own communities.
I agree.
Dr. Fraser made a statement: Asians don't hire Black people. Asians hire Asians. So we gotta be a little bit more, looking out for us.
Right. And I think that's part of that white fragility, whatever you want to call it, racism, whatever, is actually ingrained in us now, where we feel bad when we are confident in ourselves and what we're doing. And I think the more we get out of that, and the more we learn that just because I'm confident in myself and my Blackness doesn't mean that you're inferior, I think we will continue to grow, because it's not about you being inferior. It's about me just loving myself and loving what I do and saying, look at me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
exactly. And having whatever you do, other people should be enjoying it as well.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So we got a shout out from bringing their personally out through jewelry. Yes.
Thank you.
We are a culture of accessories. Al as a people, we always like jewelry and any garnishes to enhance ourselves. So we've always had that space forever.
Yeah.
So money talk.
I'm gonna let you go, but I'm excited. I'm just the first time out there, so I'm excited about this journey. But I'm gonna let you go. I just have to get that out because I'm so excited about this. Go ahead.
So Money Talks. First of all, shout out to Constance and Anthony for inviting us on this journey.
Yes.
I met Constance through Black Speakers Network. She just had an awesome energy every time you saw her facilitate or host. It was like it matched Courtney's. Like how you see Courtney now, that's how she coaches. That's how she, that's how she moves, talks to the kids. Only if she's mad at me, it shifts. But Constance had that same energy, and I give people their flowers while they can smell them. And so, as a speaker, I love other speakers. So I kept telling them, like, "That's awesome, you did a great job." And so one day she was like, "Have you thought about writing?" And I was like, "I've been a part of a couple anthologies. I shook my own fear and did that." And she was like, "I'm speaking on you and your wife, because you talk about your wife a lot when we are in our Black Speaker Network groups and whatnot." And so I was like, let's try it. And so at first, when you're part of a project and you're bringing two powers combined, you're not sure how it would work. And so for us in particular, as we were writing our chapter, we went to something that we call the frame, because we both had these ideals of what a marriage should be. We had these ideals of what we thought relationships would be. The thing is, we both come from single parent mother households. I was adopted. She grew up with a single mother. And so we had this picture, but we didn't have a template. And so we created something called the frame, which touched on friendship, resilience, autonomy, mentality, and economics. And so for each one of those compartments, we speak on our own personal relationship. And so you got to read our chapter, because we start off with this picture of how we met. It was a very unconventional way that we met. We give our different viewpoints of what we saw, but then we start sharing our frame, and our friendship is what we developed before we were in a relationship. We did not want to be together. We wanted to be together. We were out of relationship, but we became friends. No, we didn't. We weren't physical. I was actually homeless at the time. So we really didn't. We kept it on a friendship basis. And then we began to learn each other and found out we both had a sense of resilience, that bounce back. I believe the last couple spoke on when one person's like, I don't have the energy, that other person is like, oh, we got this. That's totally us. And then autonomy, we thought that marriage was this thing where we're like this. And while we are, I'm still Kent and she's still Courtney. And so as we're growing, we're learning that new person that they're becoming. Mentality, I believe that she's the highest form of life that I can ever experience. I can't experience anything higher than her. She is God outside of God. You feel me? And so with that mentality, I have a certain reverence of her. I have a certain respect and vice versa. There are many people that's like, well, marriage is a job. I hate it. It is a job. You have to work at it, but it's like this negative Nancy. And we work hard to maintain this is a partnership. We want to be here. The day that we decide somebody says we don't want to be here, then we're going to have a sit down and have a conversation because our relationship, because of that friendship, because of the resilience, because of the autonomy, we will always be together. But that mentality, once that shifts, we now have to switch up. And then the last part is economics, which is as small business owners, entrepreneurs, we are running a small business, which is our household first. The toilet paper products, the food products. We were sad this afternoon because we spent, a nice amount of money on groceries. But the economics of how to make this household work is a part that can either make us or break us. And so we have to keep it in the frame. And so that's what we talk about in our chapter, in those different elements about our relationship
and how they play a part in our marriage. Because those are the things that we felt were most impactful to our marriage, and that we focused the most on in regards to when we were struggling. Because we know money is a big thing. We know having your own freedom is a big thing for marriage. We know those are things that we all know are big factors in divorce and things like that. So we worked hard to make sure those weren't things. Now, if we found something else down the line, that's different. But you know what I mean? But these are things that we knew could be hindrances and we wanted to work hard on.
And to be transparent, because I love what the first
and thank you.
the Evans, they spoke on, like those things have almost brought us to a divorce. Yeah. It almost brought us to that divorce, but we were like, you know what, let me go. We get that cool down, come back in. You want something to eat? What you want to eat? Yeah. So
and we've been married 7+ years. We've been together 11, so 12 now. So it's been it's been a ride. It's been a journey, and I would say we loved every minute of it. We've grown from every minute of it.
They'll never get enough.
Excellent.
Absolutely. One of the things I always say, when I look in the freezer, my husband be like, stuff falling out this refrigerator. I was like, you gotta feel blessed. I feel rich when I can go and eat what I want. My house is clean. I might have a nickel in my pocket. But I feel so rich when home is right.
Yes. We were just talking about that. The things you take for granted when you're younger, that as you get older, you understand and appreciate the importance of.
Yeah.
I love appliances in my kitchen now.
and she put a brother on because, again, that autonomy factor, that resilience factor, we're survivors independently, like in our own stories. So when we came together, the way that we survived, it was different. It was different how she got to that black woman magic. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna get a washing machine. We ain't got no money for a washing machine. So I'm gonna lug it to the laundromat, every rip on the back. And so when we mix the dream together, it's like, okay, now I'm lugging it downstairs to the basement. And we have four children. We have he just turned 4 last week, 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, and then we co-parent with my 15-year-old and his mother, and the dynamic of the blended family. When he comes over and the Wi-Fi is on and the food we got food in the fridge. Yeah. When they're all laid out on the floor, like we look at it and it's the highest form of peace. Yeah. This is heaven on earth for us. But it took a transition because we've been taught as melanated individuals, this is what it means to be successful. This is what it means to be successful. This is what it means to be successful. And sometimes it's just being able to go get those groceries, have the light bill paid, and then be able to bless somebody else with your ability.
Yeah.
So
That's
we're
right.
learning because we're the youngest couple I'm hearing so far. And so we're learning to enjoy that process, especially with those little bitty babies. Because y'all know I'm oh Lord, the hair's leaving now.
Yeah, I was thinking like about like 2 years straight, so I'm not gonna even.
Oh my.
I know, but guess what? Those years go by so fast, so enjoy.
I'm hearing, so we're trying to.
We're trying.
Absolutely. Let's see. We got some more shout outs. The Evans, they on it.
Yes.
Black women are very resourceful.
Man.
Yes, we are.
Yes, they are.
You'll find a way.
Man.
Always. Blended families done right. I know
Thank
that's
you.
right.
Appreciate that.
It's that frame.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
It's that frame. It's
I was
that
just,
frame.
I was
Yes,
blessed
it
I really
is.
like that.
in
I
some
did. I like
situations.
that concept
Wonderful
too.
mother, you know.
Yeah, great mothers. Yeah, and again, accountability. I knew I had to look at self in the mirror because as an adopted child, like I didn't want. This is not what I thought should happen, and so instead of I was beating myself up for years versus saying, you know what, man, you spilled the milk, wipe up the milk, and get to going. And because of her strong personality, my son's mother's strong personality, they said, we want to meet. You know, we're going to meet because this is my son and this is your son. And I want to, and it just, when people have that frame, we knew what was important. And sometimes as individuals, we forget because of emotions, because we're tired, because we're still healing.
Our trauma.
And our kids, because of our experiences, the kids, the future, they matter more than what we are feeling at that particular time.
Absolutely.
Because we were those kids and we came from, no disrespect to your family or my family, they did the best they could, but it was a broken system.
Yes.
We're the crack baby era babies. We're from a broken era, a lost era that was strategically, systematically created so that we can have what we're having now, which is a reset on voting rights, a reset on the dollar, resets on so many things.
Yes.
And it's our babies, you know, so bless.
Yes, I'm with you, Michelle. Bless. Amen. Yes, indeed. Well, this has been so fabulous. I'm going to bring everybody back in now because this wow. You guys have blown us away, and I know you've blown our audience with your wisdom and your philosophies on the way that you do things. So I'll bring everybody back in now so that we can do our last little shout out here. Get everybody in here. Wow, wow, wow. We had a ball, to say the least. So we're going to go around the room and just shout out how people can reach out to you. All right. The Wades, you go first.
So you can find me. You can reach me out to me as a speaker, the facilitator at iamkentwade@gmail.com or my website, iamkentwade.com. We do have a interactive live that we do every Tuesday called The Porch. That's where we first met and started having our dialogues. And so we now do it on our actual porch and go live. When the snow melts, we'll be back outside. And so that's how you us. Go to the porch, inbox us, and then for jewelry and everything else.
My jewelry line is called Ebony Pros Boutique. You can find me on all social media platforms at Ebony Pros Boutique. Website, ebonyprosboutique.com, and also on Instagram. My page is InspireMe0217.
All righty. The Thomases.
That's all you.
So you can find us. My website is michellesthomas.com. That's MICHELLE sthomas.com. You also can reach out to us via any of my social media platforms at Your Relationship Surgeon. And you could shoot us an email at info@michellesthomas for anything. If you want to reach Mr. Thomas, listen, everything that we got is open and shared. So you guys reach out and connect. I have the Exceptional Woman Tour that is coming up. That just because it's the Exceptional Woman Tour, because half my house is full of males, they gonna be there. So husbands, y'all can show up too. Um, but it is there to support women around the globe to make sure that we can not only what the Waves talked about so eloquently with being a mother and being a woman and some of the loads that we have to carry, but just introduce the world to the greatness of who we are as women.
All righty now. All right, the Evans.
Hi. So I have to represent the Evanses. As you see, the chair is empty because somebody had to go cook dinner. So Mr. Evans is downstairs cooking dinner, but you can reach us at War on Divorce on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or at Noble and Kim Evans. And so that's Noble and Kim Evans on all social media platforms as well. That'll be your platform to hear any of the upcoming things that we have going on, and also just sharing our life and all of our ventures that we, what our day-to-day looks like. So.
All righty now. Well, thank you all for gracing our platform and feeding our souls and the souls of our audience. It's been a really awesome collaboration, and it is on now. I done met all of y'all.
Yes.
So it is on, and a big shout out to Constance for making this happen, because had she not made the decision to do this, we may not have met.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to working with you further, and thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Ruth, you want to add anything?
Not really. This was a wonderful collaboration, just as Ida said. I think I learned something from each one of you about marriage and working this thing called marriage in a way that is beneficial to both partners. I love the idea. I've heard it's talked about autonomy, which is one of the things that many women and men fear losing when they get married. And as a result, they start pulling in opposite directions. So thank you for bringing that out. And the whole conversation about divorce, it is epidemic. And too many people get married with that thought in the back of their mind that, oh, I've got a way out. But there is no way out. Marriage is a lifetime commitment. And it's not a man-made arrangement. It's made by God. This is his arrangement for his creation. So I thank you all for honoring that. Thank you so much for bringing it to our audience.
Absolutely. Thank you, audience, for tuning in. And we are looking forward to more collaborations and you being there.